Founded in the late 1700s, the Post-Gazette has cemented itself as one of the nation's papers of record, chronicling the Steel City's biggest wins and darkest days. Channel 11's Jatera McGee joins us live in the studio tonight with more on the paper's long history. Jatera?
Well, Gordon, it's no secret newspapers around the country have struggled to stay afloat. The transition online and shrinking advertising budgets have forced newspapers to make tough decisions, like cutting back on printing actual papers to only 2 days a week. But for over 200 years, the Post-Gazette kept Pittsburgh informed, and it even played a role in Channel 11 news as you know it. On the days the city of Pittsburgh mourned and made national headlines, writers at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette wrote the lead. The moments we celebrated our beloved teams were captured on the front page of the paper, stamped into the city's history. The city's legacy paper published the news, sports, and obituaries for 239 years, nearly 100 of which were under its final and most well-known name, the Post-Gazette. Its history dates back to the 1700s. The 4-page weekly paper, called the Gazette then, launched in 1786 and was the first newspaper west of the Allegheny Mountains. The Post-Gazette had a hand in the founding of our station. WPXI, formerly WIIC, was started as a joint venture of the Post-Gazette and Pittsburgh Radio Supply House. The station was sold to Cox Enterprises in the 60s. In the 90s, the Post-Gazette was the morning paper in town. The Pittsburgh Press published in the evenings. Then a labor strike changed the landscape of Pittsburgh's newspaper scene. In 1992, the unions working for the Pittsburgh Press Company called a strike that lasted 8 months. Because of a joint operating agreement, the Post-Gazette was also unable to publish. At the end of that year, the Block family, which already owned the Post-Gazette, bought the Pittsburgh Press. The Blocks decided to shut the press down, and the Post-Gazette started publishing daily. And if you're still trying to grasp how big of a deal today's news is, consider that the New York Times and Washington Post both published stories this afternoon about the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette ceasing operations. In the studio, Jatera McGee, Channel 11 News.